technology that will benefit humans?
Yeah, there are a lot that are on the forefront that we can see, and usually the one that's a very disruptive revolution that you can't believe is the one you couldn't see in advance. If you're all kind of ready and waiting for it, it's sometimes not so much of a wow, surprise that shocks you. So it could be very calm. Obviously, I love the idea of very flexible, glowing displays, real displays. I like the idea that they might come down hugely in cost. It's still one of the biggest cost factors of the technology. I like the idea of all of the technology that maybe I can paste little sheets on my car and push buttons to change the color, or the clothes I wear to change from blue to red, from pink or red, blue to orange, and with the press of a button. That would be kind of neat. Right now, we're on the verge. We've got a real strong signal system where we're going. And it's the voice recognition. It's built into various smart products, smartphones. On the iPhone, we have Siri. And you can actually speak, ask a lot of questions, and get answers, which is a lot nicer than going to search engines where all you get is links to articles that might have your answer tucked inside, but you have to read a long way and find out you still didn't get it, try to rephrase your search. I like getting a lot of answers all the time. I walk around, I have questions, and just want to know how the world works, or how far is it from Singapore to San Francisco. I think that the voice recognition often doesn't recognize it. It doesn't. Maybe it'll get the words right, but it won't understand the context. And sometimes, oddly enough, Google does a little better than that, because it will seem to be aware of all the things that are going on in the universe of data information, which is the internet, and their search engines and all that. Sometimes they'll put a better understanding to what I said, but not always. I know for the type of question I'm asking, whether it's more likely to work with Google or more likely to work with Siri. But both of these are going to get extended and get better and better. We need to get around human stuttering. Like if I say, it's got to be able to ignore those things. And you have a car that has some voice recognition, and it actually has that built in. It'll get around the as that you say. So I think that's one step to be more like a human that can have a lot of types of input coming into its ears. I'm talking about something like an iPhone listening with its own ears. It's going to have a lot of different forms of input, but it will understand them all as having the same content. And that's down the road. Also, if I say something like, oh, I'm going to get 5, and then I think I'll get 8 pencils, I want it to understand that no, I don't get 8. So that's all software. Software is going to get better and better. Natural language recognition becomes a very important part of my life. I always go with technology when it feels like I'm just doing less work and it's easier for me. Whenever I speak a question or a command or something, I just feel like I'm not working hard to memorize and remember where I go on my iPhone or which app, I click which buttons, in what order, and then things change. I just speak it in a natural way. Robustness is what's built into humans. That's how we can hear many things in many ways, but sometimes with little errors in pronunciation or the word chosen, and then our brains can figure it out. So we're going to get more and more towards computers simulating real intelligence, and eventually I think they'll get it, but that's so far off in the future, like 40 years or more. Okay?
Apple will still be the powerhouse in the industry in 10 years' time?
Of course. Apple is so, when a company gets very wealthy, they get infinite numbers of these. And at one time, in constant dollar, in today's dollar, IBM was the largest company in the world. IBM had a computer called 1401, and I lost your video by the way. The 1401 sold for about 25 million of today's dollar. They sold 30,000 of that computer, old days. This is before disk drive. They actually developed the first hard disk called the M. So if you multiply those numbers, you'll see how huge IBM was in trillions of today's dollars. And IBM just don't go out of business when you have that many chances to rethink things, put yourself together, and from wherever you are. Sure, Apple could go up and down. Look at stock price is how you value a company. And the value of Apple could go up and down 2 times maybe. What the deal? It goes down. Working with what you have to rebuild and get back in. So Apple's never going to like go away or some tiny unforgotten company as far as we can see in the future. When I'm speaking to young audiences, I always think back to when I was a student. And when I was a student buying every manual on computers, it was my heart, it was my soul, it was my passion. I'd buy every single manual, I'd go through them. If I took a course at the university, and I only took graduate level courses, I would study through the book on Saturday and Sunday, and I'd be halfway through the book before the class even started on Monday. So it was just, that's my life, and that's really what got me the ability to have a big influence when I did, in the past on computers. And, technology, look at everything in your life now, especially since really the iPhone started the revolution, but more than that, it was when we opened the App Store. App Store created the possibility for so many young people in high school, in college, in university, anybody of any age practically could start companies and actually have success. This is something we saw back when we started Apple with the Apple II computer. Lots of people could build little hardware projects and software things and publish them at first on cassette tapes and then on floppy disks. And I love having that openness to the world for young people who are talented technically to have a way to use their talent and develop something. It's also a reason that I'm a little more into open source. So whatever you buy, you can also modify it and have the brains to do it. But no, and college years, those years, you're on your own, you're thinking out. You may not be creating the greatest things in the world, have a lot of money value yet, but every little thing you create, just like myself, is a step towards you learn the methods that you use to create your code or your hardware at the time. Those methods stay in your brain forever, and then you use them and expand on them and come up with better methods the next time. Repetition. The more times you do something in the technical world, the better you get at it. I got to apply that to myself. You're not just like a born genius that instantly the ideas come to you. No, you've been down a path that makes a lot of really incredible ideas come to you that are more unusual than other people, and that's true innovation and creativity. So, really, it's young audiences. Look at companies like Apple, Google, Facebook, Yahoo that started, Twitter. They're all started by very young people. Sometimes they didn't even have to finish college, and they're just started because they have a passion to do something. And that's why in the future is so much in the youth. It's a lot more than just words. And I hope that the next big, huge companies like Apple, come out of this group.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for taking some of your very valuable time and Skyping with us. Thank you.
I wish I wasn't squeezed so tightly on time.
But thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay. Yourself and don't follow the ways other people have done. You can, if you try to ever go on an endeavor, maybe it's software, and you've never done that category of program before, don't look in books for the answers for your program. Think out how it should be written and write the book yourself from scratch. That's what I always like to say.